Can you hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? All right, great. Awesome. John here, Catch the Moon. I see you there, Gary. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. I apologize, everybody. We're just going to keep everybody muted during the call so we don't have any unintentional interruptions. Let me unmute you here, Gary. How's it going, Gary?
Good. How are you?
Oh, doing great. Doing great. So great to have you on the call today. So, Gary, if you don't mind, I'm just going to introduce you to everybody here in case some folks don't know who you are. Just give you a brief introduction.
Okay. I'm not sure I know who I am. Am I doing it or are you doing it?
Oh no,
I'm doing it.
I'll give a little introduction here. If there's anything you want to chime in, feel free. Obviously, Gary Helsinger, Senior Vice President of Licensing and Creative at Spirit Music Production Music. Spirit Production Music has placed music in Spider-Man, Far From Home, Motor Trend on Demand, This Is Us, Gotham, and many others listed on their website. Also, I looked you up on IMDb. He was a member of multi-platinum and Grammy-nominated rock band Green Jelly. I have IMDb credits. I guess the first thing that is there anything you want to say about just adding to what I just said, or?
Sure. I've been working in this music business a long time, and I used to work at Tower Records in the 80s, and then I worked at Chrysalis Music Publishing, where I signed the Smashing Pumpkins, and I discovered Tool and Jeff Buckley and Linda Perry, and then I went on to work at Atlantic with Lava. And I was at Universal Music Publishing for 11 years, where I was director of A&R. I signed Finch, Andrew WK. My resume is getting long. I've been working at this a long time. I've been here for 8 years. We used to be called Opus One, and we became part of the Spirit Music Group 2 years ago, and we became Spirit Production Music. We're the production music arm for Spirit Music.
So we're literally here tonight speaking with a music legend.
Woo! Grammy nominated.
That's right.
Platinum album.
That Green Jelly project looked really interesting from what I read about it. Just like an ensemble of like tons of different musicians involved in it, huh?
Yeah. Well, it was a revolving door, and in 1993 we sold 3 million albums and toured the world, and we did get nominated for a Grammy, and part of our band split off and became Tool. And I was very intimately connected because I got them signed, and Maynard was my roommate. And later, our other roommate, who was his guitar tech, started another band in the closet behind the garage, and that's a Perfect Circle.
Yeah, some people have heard of that band, right?
A lot going on.
Incredible, man. So I guess just ask you a few questions here before I open it up to the group for some a little bit of Q&A. What's your day-to-day like at Spirit? What do you?
So mostly I pitch music for synchronization. So for the film, TV, commercials, trailers, mostly film. We're a music library, so it's not the high-end placements that you hear about for commercial music publishers. But I try to get as much money as I can.
How many projects would you say you're placing any given year at Spirit?
Oh, a year? I don't know. I do a couple a day. So, I mean,
wow.
I don't know.
So it's just constantly, and you're just one person on the team. Would you say the company
Well, it's pretty small. I mean, the division is maybe give or take 10 people, and then there's 3 dedicated people who do licensing. And so we divide up clients and different aspects of the licensing business.
But it's probably safe to say like hundreds of licenses a year, if not more.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, yeah. I mean, they say it's a penny business, and I'm living proof of that.
How do you receive the songs that you use for your projects?
Well, we represent about 160,000 songs in the library. It's been around for over 25 years. And then we sub-license a lot of catalogs from around the world and around the country. And then I also oversee our artist series. So I bring in artists that don't have other deals, and I represent them for Sync. So some amazing artists. I mean, actually, I have Paul D'Amour, who's from Tool, is one the catalog I represent. I just signed Michael Lockwood, who he used to be with Amy Mann and Lisa Marie Presley and a bunch of things. tons of artists, like amazing artists that I have.
So it's a mix of artists and different libraries that you have relationships
Right.
with, and then just the Spirit Library, which you're probably constantly adding on to.
Right. So we build it in many ways. Like sometimes we create a whole suite of music for a TV show. Sometimes we just create compilations of a genre that we need. We do, song by song jobs. We add those to the library. There's a 1,000 ways that songs get into the library.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How often do you use songs with vocals versus instrumentals? Is it kind of a mix?
It's a mix. It depends what it is. A lot of it I think is instrumentals because a lot of it is background cues for TV shows. But it could be anything. Look at all these people who are commenting things that know what we did.
Pretty awesome, huh?
I'm getting a comment from Lucy Lee, who I used to represent here in her band Evolove. She said she didn't know that I discovered Jeff Buckley. I did. That's a long story, which I don't have time to take up this session with.
Maybe some other time.
Yeah.
Well, we got a ton of students here at Catch the Moon. We're all eager to make music the companies like yours can use. So what are some of the types of things that grab your attention about a song when you feel like it's great for adding to a library like Spirits?
Well, it's different for a sync than it is for being a hit artist. So they're actually, sometimes they're in conflict. But obviously, if you have a hit song, all the rules go out the window and it will get licensed. But that's not what I do. I represent mostly unknown artists, unknown songs. So they have to fulfill a need, which is generally to sound like something else or to give a mood. So broad songs, mid-tempo songs, like up-tempo, mid-tempo songs, something with a discernible melody. When you're talking about songs with lyrics, they're empowering songs, lyrics in the present tense, broad lyrics. It just really depends because I'm reacting to searches all the time. So there's very specific things, like someone will send me a specific search and say, I need a jazz song with these 3 instruments. And so that's a very specific thing. So when someone creates a body of work and wants someone to represent it, I can't really give them a roadmap of what type of song to do. It just has to be very well made. It has to sound good, it has to have a good recording quality, and it has to have a nice melody. It has to be instantly recognizable.
And would you say relevant to what's used like right now?
Yeah, I mean, in the artist sense, like you want to sound like something that you hear in TV shows and commercials. So the obvious things, like, you hear, Fight Song or Brave, or you hear Imagine Dragons, or you hear, these songs, like these are the type of artist songs that people are looking to replace. But as far as like the whole body of music that's in a whole episode of a TV show, it's anything. So you kind of have to have experience in that world to know like how to create an album of tension cues. I'm not going to teach somebody how to do that. Yeah. But that's a separate thing than artist music.
So there's different, when people approach you with music, would you say it's like collections of songs, typically like albums that they send you to pitch for like inclusion in your library? How does that typically work?
From individuals, that's what it usually is. But I mean, people who work in music library, they do represent their small libraries, and I get those all the time. I just got one today that's really great that I'm thinking about doing. But as far as individuals go, it's mostly artist music. And frankly, it's mostly what I get is stuff that's okay. Like people, there's an impression like, oh, everything is bad. I'm like, actually, it's usually not bad. Usually the majority of everything is okay, which is kind of worse than bad, really.
But it does still like hit a bar of sorts, right? When as long as it hits a bar of sorts, would you say? Is
yeah.
What you're saying?
Listen, when someone sends me something, I'm hoping it's great.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear someone send me an artist song that was fantastic. That would be really exciting for me. So everybody, you all think you have one, don't you?
What are some of the current trends that you're noticing right now that were just like hot things that are in need right now?
Oh God. I mean, a lot of the really cliche things are still the ones being used. So all of these anthemic songs and songs with foot stomps and hand claps. Like they're still using the hell out of that. But then, you know, like for instance, say Billie Eilish is very popular and I don't have anything that sounds like that. So if somebody could legitimately make something in that genre, that would be really useful to have. Anybody who's really very popular right now would be, if you can make music in that vein, you could probably license that.
Good tip. Is there anything you would say in terms of like, I like to ask people this, is there any tip you'd give on making songs easier to use on shows or films? Is there anything that, for example, like that would make it just really difficult to use a song you'd otherwise want to use for something?
Yeah, well, there's things that I think are obvious, but maybe they're not to everybody. So never use names, never use specific places. Your chorus, the lyrics in your chorus should be succinct, like a 3-word phrase. You write in the present tense, because usually songs are used to describe the moment that is happening in the show. So lyrically, if you're singing about the past or the future, it doesn't work. Some other tips. Always make an instrumental mix of every final mix. Always, always, always. And the reason, for people who don't know, is that if they use a song with vocals, they need the instrumental version of that song to ride against the dialogue in the episode. It's amazing how many times people don't have the instrumental mix. I'm always surprised by that.
Bill?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because we're not even buying tape. It's just run another mix of the same exact mix without the vocal in it.
Oh, well, I think those are great tips, man. I think we're just that's really all the questions I have for you. I just want to open up to the group now to ask some questions. So I figure we could just like, if anybody wants to raise a hand or anybody wants to just pop a question into the chat, we can just, we can start answering some stuff. Submission process, somebody asks about. I'm sure that's like a question you get a ton.
Wait, did you just ask me a question?
Yeah, well, somebody was asking just submission process, like how people typically submit to libraries like yours.
Email. Give me a chance to listen to it to see if I like it. So I'm comfortable. I mean, it's listed in my email, Gary@spiritproductionmusic.com. So you can all send me, I would say send me like 2 or 3. Don't send me like 30 songs. Obviously, never send an attachment. Always send a link. Yeah. Send me your best 1 or 2. Like if you don't have it in the first 2, it's not going to be in the last 20, you know?
Well, by the way, it's super generous of you to throw your email address.
I know. What am I doing?
Everybody,
I discovered somebody great doing that once. My first day at Universal, somebody published my number and my email without telling me. And I got flooded for 24 hours, inundated like crazy. And then I was like, stop it, take it off. It's too much. But one person who got through was great. And I still work with her, this girl, Marina V. It was,
oh, cool.
That was the first call she ever got, or the first response she ever got. So yeah, send me if it's really great, and I'll check it out. There's no other rules. We don't have we don't pay advances. We do, as far as the artist side is, we do usually 50-50 deals.
Well, cool. So yeah, just send him 2 songs, be polite, don't flood his inbox.
Links only, no attachments.
Make sure your link plays. We have sometimes when we do feedback sessions, sometimes I just tell people they really need to double check their links that they send out.
Right. Always a good idea.
Won't play. All right, let's see. Do you like cupcakes?
I just saw that too. I am a pastry junkie. I have a problem with pastry. I do not eat it because I cannot manage it. I go crazy.
Do you still do some A&R currently for artists? If so, what artists may I ask?
Well, I do A&R here in the sense that I represent them for pitching. So some of the people I just mentioned, this great new artist named Ward that I signed. You know what? I really should have looked at my roster, because everybody who I work with that I don't mention, be like, why don't you say something about me? Where's my roster? Somebody show me. I don't really do A&R in the sense of making albums or, shopping record deals for other people. So it's A&R that there are bands in our artist series, and I try to get sync placements for them.
Cool.
Madeline typed it wrong. It's Gary at spiritproductionmusic.com.
Spirit Production Music. All right. So next, I think they're asking like just some of the specifics of how Spirit works. If you're exclusive, how does it work? If people.
Oh, that's a good question. So don't mix up Spirit Music and Spirit Production Music. Spirit Music is our parent group, and so they represent the Who and T-Rex and all commercial music. Our deals are there are non-exclusive deals that we have for more like library music, like incidental music like that. But I deal mostly with the artist series. So those are exclusive deals for the song, not for the writer, not for the artist. So meaning whatever songs that we both agree on, we're the only people representing it for sync placements. And it's during the term. So when the term ends, it will revert if the artist or the writer wants it to revert. But we can't have multiple people representing songs. And I know people like to retitle, but music supervisors hate it because they'll bump into it.
Hate it.
They hate it because they'll collect songs that they like, and they'll have multiple titles of the same song and not realize it. And then they'll go to license it and go and wonder who it came from and who gets paid. And so when they see that, they'll usually throw it out, and sometimes they'll stop working with the library as well. So we don't like to do it.
That makes sense. What genres? It seems like that's being asked too. Like what genres? What types of music are you looking for?
Oh, that's a good question.
Is it all kinds of music?
No, I would love to get a lot more pop, urban, hip hop music. Hard to get like high quality music like that in the unsigned realm. Everybody has sort of this mid-tempo rock music that I have a glut of it. I mean, obviously we use rock music, but I kind of had it up to here with average mid-tempo rock music. Got a lot of it. Unless it's great. And then if it's great, like I said, all rules go out the window when it's great.
You'd like some average pop, hip hop stuff now.
Popular stuff like Drake, or rap like Cardi B, or like stuff that's, I don't have that much of that kind of music. I don't know if anybody out there makes that kind of music that's listening today, but that is what I need.
I saw some people thumbs upping, so and pretty happy. So I'm feeling a couple folks will be reaching out to you with some stuff like that.
Cool.
Oh yeah, Christmas music and covers. Either of those, like or Christmas
music always.
Yeah.
All kinds of Christmas music. That's great, and also holiday music that doesn't specifically mention a holiday. Like, Christmas seasonal music that doesn't talk about Christmas is good to have as well. But what was the other part of it you said?
Cover music.
Oh, cover music. No, because people come to the music library for one-stop, easy clearance, and I can't clear the publishing.
Yep.
So
it makes sense.
We do. This company is associated with many other companies. We have about 6 different entities. So we do audio mix for TV and film. So, and we are music supervisors for other projects, and we do music clearance and copyright management. So there's all these different facets of the business. But sometimes we do work for hire jobs where we do covers. And sometimes I compete with you all and I make tracks too.
Watch out, you're competing with a legend here.
I shouldn't say what it was. I changed my mind. Go on.
What are the top themes you find that you need? Are there things like themes like certain
lyrically?
Yeah, lyrically, like that kind of stuff.
The thing I said earlier, just the key word is empowerment. Empowerment. Things that describe being at the best moment right now. Those are the best lyrics. So it can be big and anthemic. Those are great. I always like those, but it doesn't have to be big. The song Happy is not anthemic, it's sing-songy. But they're all songs about in this moment, things are great. Those are the best kind of lyrics because they're describing the moment that the song is being used for. So don't talk about like things are going to be great or things used to be great or things are terrible. Those songs get used every once in a while, but the overwhelming amount of lyrics that are used are empowerment lyrics.
Great tip. How about orchestral hybrid trailer music?
Oh, I could use a little of that if it's great. But that has to be really amazingly well produced. So look at a real trailer, and if you can compete, look up the new Maleficent trailer, and if you can make that, send that to me.
2 songs, huh?
Who out there is doing that? Mike. Bring it on, Mike. I dare you.
They're asking like how they want to hear some of your music. How do they find it?
But my music that I created?
Yeah.
That I was on? Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube.
Your discography, right?
Look up Green Jelly. That's really the only music I made. Oh, you mean like the music I made here? No, you can't find that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't label it as me. You can't find it.
Top secret.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do those facets work together like a music soup, a show, and license music from your? So does a music supervisor come to you with the show, and then they license music from your library?
Yes, good question. It's a two-way street. Sometimes, I contact music supervisors all day, every day, and ask what they need. And then I will sometimes highlight a couple things, maybe one, because they really don't need 200 libraries calling them every day saying, check out this great song I have. But I do it, especially with people I have a close relationship with. But mostly what I'm doing is they're sending me pitches, specific searches, and I will respond and send them a playlist. And they all have access to the library so they could search on their own. It's spiritproductionmusic.com. I'm sure everybody has checked that out there. So I respond to searches. I send music out proactively. Does that answer that question?
Two-way street then.
Yeah.
I see Bev here has a hand raised. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Bev.
Oh, hi, Gary. Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Hi.
Actually, John, sorry, you already answered my question. It was about Christmas music because I tend to write mostly Christmas music and original stuff. And I'm glad that you like that more than covers because I didn't do any covers. So.
Oh, wait, I need to correct what I said then. I'm talking about covers of commercial music. Public domain songs are great to cover.
Oh, for the Christmas ones.
Yeah. We probably need public domain Christmas songs more than we need original songs.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
No publishing to clear it all, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd prefer to have the covers as opposed to original Christmas music then?
Right. It's the original one. The original Christmas music is kind of hard, but it gets used sometimes. So if you have some really amazing original Christmas music, I'd be into hearing it. Okay. Is it amazing? Is it the best? Are you singing it? Is it you singing?
No, I'm not singing it.
Okay.
Anyway, I send you 2. That's all I'll send.
I mean, imagine it being in a Christmas movie. It has to be that good.
I had one place last year in a Hallmark movie. Woo-hoo.
Perfect. They're across the street from us. I like to talk to them. Yeah.
Oh, wicked. All right.
You send it to Daryl Burke.
Pardon me?
I shouldn't say his name.
Oh, good. I got that.
Too late. This is being recorded.
All right. Thanks. That was cool.
Thank you.
All right, great. So let's mute you back here. Let's see. Lucy, I see you here. Give me a second here to unmute you.
Here she is, ladies and gentlemen. There she is. Very talented singer-songwriter right there.
Thank you. I just wanted to give you some props because you were telling me years ago that I needed to change the themes I was writing about, and I couldn't quite get it. And that's why I'm where I am right now, and they're teaching me the way. But I just wanted to give you props because you were like trying to get in my head ages ago about changing up the themes that I wrote about. You're right, Gary.
Okay. We're going to get there. We're going to do it.
We're doing it. We're doing it now. So it's just great to see you here, and thanks for talking to the class. And that's all I got.
All right. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Talk to you in a bit.
All right, take care.
Yep.
Hey, thanks for that.
She's really super talented. You know what? The thing that was hard about her band, her band was amazing. The hard thing was that they were combining like sort of opposite genres. So they were doing hard rock with this sort of poppy sensibility, and it wasn't really either. That's a great formula to be a new famous band, to be unique. But when you're trying to license something and you're unknown, it works against you. So that was the hardest thing, working with her on that. It's a shame because she is so great. I think we're going to find some stuff to do with her.
And everybody, you should be hitting her up to collaborate with her.
Yeah, you should.
Should. That's the whole point of this course, is to get people connected too. So I see you there, Lois. Let's hear from you. What you got for us here? Let me see if I can unmute you. This Zoom seems to be a little buggy when it comes to unmuting people.
There you go. I think I've done it.
How's it going, Lois?
Okay, thanks. Lunchtime here on Friday.
Oh, I can't wait for Friday.
Yeah.
Is this
Already got
Australia?
it in New Zealand.
Oh, New Zealand. Close.
Yeah.
Tell
So,
the Finn brothers I say hello.
the who?
Tim Finn and Neil Finn.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, very Kiwi.
Yes.
So my question is, jazz music. How often do you actually get asked for placements for jazz music? I'm
All the
mainly
time.
a smooth jazz or straight ahead type jazz style.
Jazz music all the time. Smooth jazz, not as much.
Okay.
Those are sometimes used in backgrounds of scenes, but kind of more like classic jazz from, the bygone era, from the 40s or 50s or 30s, like very typical sounding stuff. They'll reference, Miles Davis or something like that a lot of the time.
But what about vocal?
Probably not as much with jazz vocal, to be honest with you. It's
Okay.
more instrumental. But great is great. So if it's great, it could get used.
Okay.
Is that what you do? You're a jazz vocalist?
Yeah, I am.
I think it's a little bit hard in the sync, the music library sync business. So I'm not
Yeah,
really
I
sure what
figured
kind
it
of
was.
tip. Yeah.
I've had a couple of songs put forward, but it's it just seems to be a hard genre, and I think I've got to my age now where I don't really want to diversify a heck of a lot, because I write a lot for my gigs as well. So
I mean, really, if you look at media and listen to the music, assess what it is. So watch TV shows and movies and commercials, and do you hear that a lot?
Yeah.
And you don't.
Yeah.
So your opportunity window is this big. So you have to nail it in that little spot. But if you make this music, there's more chance. So that's the only tip I could say, is like whatever you do, if you hear it somewhere, target that.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Lois. Let's see, any other, and maybe we should I don't see a ton more questions. I got one
Who's
more.
that person stalking behind Brian Hodges? Why is he getting stalked?
I love it how you're checking out all what's going on in the different
The thumbnails.
I think I would just get too distracted.
I think she has a gun on him. Maybe.
Do you want to say anything to that, Brian?
Unmute Brian. I want to see. Oh, he doesn't have any questions. It's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, Christina's got one. Let's see. Christina.
Diana, yes, I was in the band Green Jello that had to change their name to Green Jelly. Yes.
Green Jello to Green Jelly. That's great. I've just got a question. You mentioned about Christmas music.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any certain genre of public domain Christmas music that you don't hear a lot of that there's a need for?
It's the opposite. Whatever you hear a lot of, that's what we need more of.
Okay.
So they love that sort of Harry Como 60s, like it's the kind of music you still see in Christmas in movies, like Hallmark movies or major budget movies. You still see that kind of classic 50s, 60s Christmas music mostly. but they're not going to pay, you know, Nat King Cole. They don't. They have a small budget.
Right.
Can you make some Nat King Cole music?
I'll try.
Chestnuts. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. I see there, Fabio. Let me unmute you here. How's it
Hello.
going? Hey.
Is it working?
Yes.
All
Hear
right. Hey.
Now it's-
I just want to say I love your energy, man. And thank you so much for coming through and just teaching us all. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure, man.
Yeah. Okay. So my question was, so you worked on Into the Spider-Verse. I was looking at who else did it. I wanted to know what your experience was like and what kind of process you went through, because I know like a lot of really popular artists did songs for Into the Spider-Verse. And also I was looking at Keir Lehman. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but I like things that he does as well too. So
He's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's really, and he makes my kind of music. He picks my kind of music too. So I just wanted to know, like, what was your experience like doing Into the Spider-Verse, and was it different than really working with independent artists that are smaller, or like?
So for that, there's just one license that was done for that, and honestly, off the top of my head, I forget what it is. It wasn't a creative process with them, so I don't have a good Into the Spider-Verse story. But that's typically the way people use music libraries, that a supervisor will search for music or come to me and ask me to find them something. And if I looked it up, I think it's just it's like just a little dramatic cue. It's not like an artist song. I could mute this and look for it right now, but I can't.
Okay.
But
okay.
yeah, like that's not a great story. I mean, it's a great license. But that's the function that a music library does, is we're a resource for them. They find the music and then we negotiate the license and try to get as much as we can. And, you know, that's another thing that a music library does, is we're an advocate for the writer to get the best license that we can.
Okay. Interesting.
Are you a composer?
No, I'm a producer.
You're a producer?
Yeah, I make hip hop and R&B and stuff like that. So that was me grinning and pointing and smiling and waving. So.
Oh, you weren't on my scroll up there, but please send me some great music, okay?
Say less, I got you.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Is that it?
We got this question. I think is a pretty good one from Kristen. She just types her internet's shoddy, so instead of raising her hand, she's gonna type out, when getting a cold email, do you like to have some niceties for the first few emails, or do you appreciate cutting to the chase and getting a link?
Oh, good question. Shorter the better. Yeah, I don't need to read a whole like how are you kind of thing. Just get right to it. If there's something interesting, feel free to put that in there. If I know you from somewhere, or you know someone that I know, that's fine. But I don't really want like a whole long letter and some funny or cute. No. Just get to it. Give me the link.
And he's already given you an invite to send him music.
I know.
You don't need to let him do with any of that so much. You can just cut straight to the chase. Awesome. Let's see. I got one more. Let's just take one more question from just like somebody on video, and then if you're cool, Gary, with it, I would love to like play a few songs from the class and just get your hot take on it. That's something we tend to do here. Let's go ahead and the lower hand. We'll get to you though, John. Here, give me a sec here. John, you there?
Yeah. Hey, John.
Hey.
Gary. Hey. Thanks so much for jumping on here, man. It's great to get different perspectives and points of view about how the process works. So for you, do you spend more time looking to fulfill requests that are from the library that's already established, or do you spend more time getting requests specifically for a cue or a certain type of song for, say, a TV show or something like that?
Oh, wait, I kind of mixed those things as the same question. What's the two different things? The cue, looking for something for a specific show versus...
Do you spend more time going to the library, or do you spend more time looking through the artists that you're working with for, say, a specific thing that somebody's looking for?
Oh, you're saying okay, so there is no difference when I'm looking for music. It's just, it's two different libraries. I mean, it's the same... let me see how I phrase this. When I'm working on a show and a search, it doesn't matter where I'm getting the music from. It's all in our library. Our artist series is in our library. So
Okay.
it's reacting to that. Generally, it's something I was going to add is that most of these searches are very fast. So usually we have to respond within the same day that we have the search to get it. So there's not a lot of, there's no like couple days lead in, like I have to have it on hand usually. Every once in a while I have time to create something or look for something outside, but generally I'm just scouring our library for the best choices and getting it back to them as fast as possible.
So what's the best thing that we can do to help you find our music if it's appropriate quick? It's like, is it in the metadata, or is it in just how recently you happen to have come across the songs, or what keeps
Well,
it kind
the
of
first stage is to have us put it in the library. So, you know, you send me music. If we think it's usable and great, then it's going to be in the library. Will I identify your music when I'm looking for, when I get a search? I hope I do. You know, that's why I put it in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you work very much with unknown artists? You said you had one unknown, but a lot of the ones that you listed were people from Tool.
No, mostly they're unknown. Mostly they're
Really?
unknown. Yeah.
Okay.
If you go to our website, it's powered by Source Audio. There's a library that says artist series, so you can look at those. Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
honestly, I need things that aren't those things.
okay. Is there anything specific you're looking for right now, or is it more like you'll know when you hear it?
Well, like I said, I do need a lot of pop urban music, but
Right. The hip hop. Okay.
yeah. But
Okay.
I mean pop music, but you know, stuff that you would hear like on Empire.
Gotcha. Not mid-tempo rock. Gotcha.
No. Is that what you make?
No.
Is that your genre?
I
Is
make
that your wheelhouse? I'm guessing. I can tell by the mustache. That's it.
I produce and I write too, so I'm pretty much across the board. I'm in Nashville, and you do, you know, any kind of music you can imagine in Nashville these days.
Oh, some great country music would be cool. I signed Shooter Jennings when I was at Universal. I discovered him.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Cool. Okay.
And then he worked with Dave Cobb, who now is like the biggest producer, writer in the country music business.
Yeah. When were you at Universal?
I was there from the beginning of 2000 till 2011.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Big chunk of time.
So you were doing A&R there and stuff?
I was doing A&R for the first half, and then I switched into the film and TV department, and I did licensing there.
Okay. So you started at Universal doing the sync stuff. Cool. Okay. Well, thanks, Gary, man. I really appreciate you going on. It's been helpful. Thanks very much.
Cool. Good to meet you. Thanks.
All right, you too.
Sweet. Yeah. Thanks for the questions, John. All right. So, Gary, if you don't mind, I'd love to spin a few songs from the class for you and just get your impression of them, you know?
Cool. Play the good ones.
Any feedback? These are totally randomly selected. So we may stumble upon some real gems here. We don't know. It's up to you. Let's see. So I'm going to share a screen here. Take a sec. Hopefully, I just like to give a little bit of warning. Some of the low end audio gets taken out just through the streaming, but just a heads up. All right, let's go. This first song is it's Susie Husner, and it looks like the song's called Poof.
Now she's gone like a riddle in a song, all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs. Poof, now she's gone like a riddle in a song, all the way to MIA, where she thinks that she belongs. You're doing, you're gonna end up dead. Now she's gone like a riddle in a song.
Okay. Hooky as hell. Can you hear me?
If she's on the call, oh yeah, we can totally hear you. If she's on the call, everybody's muted right now. But if you're talking to her, or are you just talking to all of
I'm
us?
just talking to everybody.
Okay, cool. Yeah. We can totally hear you.
That's really hooky and really fun. I don't hear, lyrically the chorus, it doesn't really focus in on poof, now she's gone. I guess that could work. I like it. It's a weird hybrid of like country and 40s, Andrews Sisters or something. It's kind of fun. I think hard lyrically, it's a little specific lyrically. The thing I was talking about, the empowering lyrics, that's your best shot, but in the right spot, that could work. Good job, Susie.
Cool, man. Thanks for the feedback on that. Next up, we got Phil and Angela Lamb. Let's go ahead and pull open their track here. This song.
Can you hear me still?
Yeah, sure can.
I saw a question from somebody, do we take country pop music? And I definitely would like some country pop music.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Next song we got here is called Long Way Home.
Surrounded by the warmest glow, our favorite tune playing on the radio. All around people are in a rush, but when I'm with you, I just can't get enough. We'll leave all our cares on the road. When it's you and me together, let's take the long way home. Let's take the long way home. Let's take the long way home. Let's take the long way home.
That's good too. 2 for 2.
Hey.
I like it. It's got that little rollicking, clappy, whatever that is, hands on the thighs.
Hand clappy, right?
Yeah, that's super good. Let's take the long way home. Let's figure out how many times that could get used. In a specific way, that would be good.
Do you think that home as like a concept is something that library music gets pulled a lot for?
Yeah, home is good for. It seems more like for commercial music than for film or TV. But home is a lyric and idea. I mean, the broad lyrics are, I think most people know, just using happy or best, better, top of the mountain, things are great. Like those are the words that always apply. Even though they sound beat into the ground, you can never have enough of them. But yeah, that sounds like commercial music in a really good way.
Sweet. Thanks for the feedback on that. Got another one here for you. Diana St. Hilaire. Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name right. This one's called Remember Me.
It's getting late. I can hear you breathing. Please hold me tighter. Don't let this moment fade away. Please remember me when I am gone. Please remember me when I am gone.
So that one has a lot more limited use. Obviously, you would use that if it would work in something really dramatic and one of these teenage love moments. But it's well done. Like I feel like the vocal is a little bit wispy, but I like the haunting bit of it. It could work, but it just has a lot more limited application when it can be used.
Thanks for the feedback. Got time for maybe one or two more?
Sure.
Cool with that? Cool.
Your time.
Well, I also want to make
My
sure.
time runs out.
Well, I got you for 13 more minutes, so let's make it count. All right, so John Navarrete is next. Let's see. This is another one. Let's see. This one's called Make 'Em Run. This is a hip-hop rock instrumental. So, hey.
Hip-hop rock. Fuse it up.
Yeah, fuse it up.
Well, that kind of music, I know where that music gets used, and that could work. I think the problem with that is that that's the type of music that TV shows usually have the composer make, as opposed to somebody licensing it from an outside source. So, for as far as what we do music supervised shows. So that is something that we could use on to put in on shows we supervise. It'd be hard to pitch that song, but in a specific way that could get used also.
Cool. How about one more here? David Thiele and Nancy Celia Rose featuring Alexa J. This one's called I Know How to Play. Let's see.
You think you know what I'm gonna do, but I'm always 2 steps ahead of you. So take one good look, it's an honor to show you how a winner does this. I'm oh so good at what I do. Oh, gonna make my move, gonna get my way, gonna do my thing. Oh hey, 'cause I know how to play. You know the rules, but you don't know the. I know how to play. I know how to play.
I love that. That was great. It's Alexa J, and that's who that is?
It looks like a team effort. Dave Thiele and Nancy Celia Rose featuring Alexa J. Yeah, Alexa J must be the singer.
I feel like that's somebody I know. That's totally great. That's really good.
Cool.
Oh.
Well, they should hit you up.
Yeah, hit me up. Is that available? Can we pitch that?
Highly likely. Yeah.
The kind of like empowering, upbeat, fun kind of thing that you could send to somebody and they would get excited. All the other music can be licensed. It's all usable. It's just that when you're talking about proactively sending music out, that's only certain kinds of music you can do that with. I can't send out tension cues to somebody. So
hey, what is it about this track as opposed to the others that makes you say like is it that it's like capturing what's hot at this moment in music?
Every element of that was working, like the songwriting, the singing, the voice, the beat, the hook, the lyric. Again, all just it perfectly fit. Like I can hear that in a show or commercial or anything.
Hey,
infectious. It's really good.
Yeah, it's very good. That one too. Well, I think I would like to open the floor back up for any questions. We've screened some songs. Does anybody else have any other questions for Gary here? Hey, Brian, did you want to speak up about your about what was going on in your camera at all? Your camera situation from earlier? Just feel free to raise your hand if you want.
There's Brian. Brian doesn't talk. Brian
doesn't talk at all. Never hear him talk. Here, Adam, let's go to you. Adam.
Hey, Gary, how's it going?
Hey, man. Good. How are you?
Good, man. So we're writing a whole bunch of different stuff in this course and trying to co-write and writing for sync for like film and ads.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been like kind of like sat in the rock genre. And I keep hearing like kind of mixed opinions about like the rock in the 80s, which is kind of where I sit. So I know you said like you don't place a lot of rock or you're getting sick.
No, we play as a lot of rock. I just get a lot of average sounding rock music.
Okay. So yeah, I guess my question kind of was just like if you had any advice for someone like me moving forward to try to still write in sync, but still feel like I'm like within my element. Do you know what I mean?
So did you say it has an 80s kind of feel to it?
Yeah, that's where I've been trying to modernize it more, but naturally that's where I'm at, yeah.
So, the thing when you sound like a era gone by, like if you authentically sound like it could be like possibly, it could be an unknown master from 1982. If it's that authentic sounding, it's actually super useful, especially now because there's so many shows that are looking for 80s like leftover masters from the 80s. But if it's a fusion or you're using some modern instruments mixed with it, then it doesn't work. But and it doesn't work for that purpose. It doesn't work for like, I pitch songs to Stranger Things. They don't normally take unknown new songs. They take actual songs from the era. But if it is so incredibly authentic, it could be used, or a show like it. Besides that, if you're just pitching in general and you have an 80s feel to it, that also works, but that's a smaller opportunity of something that sounds like two different things at the same time. If you're doing, the thing with rock music, it just has to be great. Like it has to have just a really good lyric, great hook, great lyric for chorus phrase, and if you can do that, I would love to hear it.
All right, I'll send you something great.
Great, awesome, thanks.
Thanks for taking my question.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Adam. Just had a question. I just want to address this link to the song. I'm going to provide all the links to all the songs on the replay. And actually, I'll just, it's pretty easy for me to do. I'll just drop them straight in right now, just in case anybody wants to copy and paste them real quick. Here you go. And yep. So there's the links. Does anybody have any other questions for Gary? You've been so generous with your time with us. I think
it's over.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right? It went by quick. It's
Brian's friend is not going to let him out until it's over.
I don't know what's going on. He's not going to let him speak. Not going to let him out. Any other questions? It doesn't seem like we have any other questions. I don't see any other hands being raised, and I don't see anything else in the chat. So I think you're off the hook.
Wow.
Thank you.
Bye, man.
Here we go. Do you look for cinematic electronic?
I think that's what we were sort of talking about before, like trailer music and video game music. Like, yes, is the answer. If it has to be really well recorded. It has to sound as good as you see on TV commercials and in, you know, the trailers. It has to be that great.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess they also, well, they're asking like accepting a 80s. Well, I think that question was answered. They're actually looking for stuff from the 80s. So I would assume that there's actually authentic music from the 80s.
If you're making an old style music, I can use it if all the instrumentation and the mix is authentically from that time. It sounds like it's from the 70s. It sounds like it's from the 80s, whatever. Besides that, if you're making some kind of hybrid, now you're in artist territory, and you know it's a different thing.
And I just saw this question in the chat. Yeah, Chandra, if you weren't in the call earlier, he's totally fine with you sending like a couple of songs to him directly. And that, yeah, Matt, thanks for just dropping the email. But just please respect his time, and just do everything that we teach everybody in this course to do in terms of like being a professional, and not
Sheila, I'm in LA.
50 things. Yeah, I don't think we really have any more time for additional questions. I think we're gonna end the call now. But Gary, thanks so much for your time.
My pleasure. That was fun.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Hopefully we can have you back again sometime soon. And
be great, everybody. Just be great. That's all you gotta do.
No, not a tough thing. All right.
Okay.
All right. Till next time.
All right.
Have a good night.
Thanks. You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye.